You know him better than any of us. What do you think?
Tyrion's not like the other Lannisters. He was always kind to me.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game of Thrones A Song of Ice and Fire question of the day, where I dive into the comment sections and grab your questions and talk about them one at a time so we can dive in a little bit deeper to each individual question. And today's question comes from Stephen Brown, and Stephen says, Q&A, do you think there really is any chance for Tyrion and Sansa to come back together? In the books, his character arc turns much darker after giving his father a bolt or two in the privy. However, for both the show and the books, Sansa has always dreamed of that heroic, handsome knight. It would be a fitting turn for her to fall in love with the heart of a man instead of his face, nose or no nose. So, thank you, Stephen, for the question. Excellent question, by the way, and this is something that people have wondered about for quite a while, myself included. And in short, I think there is a possibility of this happening. I do not predict it will happen quite yet. I'm not 100% there yet, but I think there is a chance this could happen, and I think it would be a fitting end for both their characters, as you stated in your question. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of why this could happen. First off, with all the drama going on in King's Landing and all the men Sansa encountered while she was in King's Landing, specifically Joffrey, Tyrion is the first person to show her that he actually didn't want anything from her, and he genuinely cared about her well-being. For example, Tyrion did come in and stop her from being beaten by Joffrey and Meryn Trant, and risked his own life doing so. If Joffrey wanted to, he could have simply had Tyrion's head taken off right then and there. When they do get married, even though it's kind of a farce wedding, Tyrion does respect her and say, I will not bed you, I will not sleep in your bed until you want me to. So I think that goes a long, long way for Sansa respecting Tyrion as a person. Another thing is, before they got married, Tyrion actually told her, my lady, I promise I will never hurt you. And that kind of goes back to Tyrion showing Sansa that he legitimately doesn't want anything from her unless she reciprocates those feelings. Another interesting thing here as far as a parallel between the two characters is they've both been bit in the ass by this whole idea of love or whatever. You have Tyrion, of course, with the backstory with his first wife, Tysha, because in the books that's something that really drives Tyrion's character. He actually goes around asking, where do whores go, when he learned the story about Tysha, the backstory, and how Tywin supposedly set all that up in cohorts with Jaime. So in the books, Jaime and Tyrion are not that close. And on the other hand, you do have Sansa, who has this idea in her head, like Stephen Brown suggested in his question, that she's always wanted this knight in shining armor. She wants to become a princess and then a queen, etc. And she has this idea in her head of what that's supposed to look like. She thinks she loves Joffrey because he's so handsome. Later on, even in the show, after Marjorie comes into the picture and marries Joffrey herself, she was supposed to marry Loras Tyrell, and of course we saw her in season 1 of the show clapping for Loras and thinking he's so handsome, etc. And he has the look of a knight in shining armor, and of course we know that Loras would never have feelings for her in the first place. We learned that Sansa does actually admire Tyrion, regardless of all the other men in her life in King's Landing and all the other Lannisters, and specifically in season 7, we saw the scene where Jon shows Sansa the letter that Tyrion wrote him, and he says, you know him better than anybody. And she specifically says, Tyrion is not like the other Lannisters. He always treated me kindly. And the main reason I think this could happen is going back to what I was saying about the whole Beauty and the Beast scenario. I think this fits perfectly. Sansa is regarded as a beautiful lady, but Tyrion, of course, being a dwarf and having no nose, as Stephen referenced in his question as well, in the books, The Battle of Blackwater, it gets cut off completely. In the show, they made it a little more aesthetically pleasing with just the scar and all that kind of stuff going across his face, but in the books he actually has no nose. And by the way, another thing Sansa could be attracted to with Tyrion as far as a physical attribute would be chicks dig scars. But anyway, I think this would fit their story arcs actually pretty damn well, where Sansa actually learns to love somebody for the content of their character and not what it's supposed to look like with some knight in shining armor that trots around valiantly with sword and shield, etc., and looks all beautiful and handsome and all that good stuff. I think it would be a good fit for her to fall in love with somebody that actually cares about her regardless of what he looks like. And on the other side, I do think this fits for Tyrion as well, because he does genuinely care for Sansa, and he brought up to the fact actually in season 7, you know, I was married to your sister. She's a lot smarter than she lets on. And of course we got the response from Jon, oh, she's letting on, because she had started to question things and started to play a role in the war and the Battle of the Bastards, etc. So I think that's a good fit, and I think they've kind of hinted at it a little bit that it could happen. And considering the whole thing started with drama between the Lannisters and the Starks, just like the Yorks and the Lancasters in History of the War of the Roses, I think it would be a great ending to that and kind of wrap that up in a nice little bow there, where they do fall in love with each other regardless of their last names. But anyway, as usual, I'm not the expert. Let's get Riddick's opinion, and this time I'll just put on the notepads either a simple yes or a no. Will Sansa and Tyrion get back together? Or hell no, that'll never fucking happen. All right, today's question of the day, we have a question about Tyrion and Sansa. So I have simply a yes on this pad. I don't know if you can even see that, but it does say yes. And on this one, we have hell no, it'll never happen. Just come here, bub. Come here. Come on. See right here. All right, you ready to pick? Ready to pick? Let's ball them up. You ready? All right, pick. This one? This one? All right, let's see what you got. Ready? We have what? Hell no. We have hell no. Riddick says that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen? All right. Well, that's what Riddick says. He said it ain't gonna happen. Well, there you go. Riddick has spoken. Riddick says it's not going to happen. He doubts they'll ever get back together, but he probably does think that they will remain lifelong friends. But there's kind of a bigger thread in the books about the Hound and Sansa possibly getting together, but that will be a whole different topic. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Will Sansa and Tyrion end up together at the end of Game of Thrones Season 8 or A Song of Ice and Fire if we ever get the finished product? And as usual, thank you for all the support, especially you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers, Lala Gig, Doc Holliday, Goska, HoonJive, Lo Horton, John Carey, Anastasia, Jason Landers, DTizSmith, MJW, Carole Brown, D Brown, Mike Colton, Lisa Phillips, Alfred Borstmayer, Rob Greene, and Ricky Corotte. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And to everyone on Patreon, you guys literally get this channel through the long night. And to everyone on YouTube, I really appreciate the support as well. If you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like and a share. And be sure to subscribe to get everything. And you have to click that notification bell. Otherwise, even if you're subscribed already, you will not be notified for every video I upload. So be sure to click that damn bell to be notified when I upload a video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.